kinds of people in this world. People who love Harry Potter and people who haven't read it yet. Harry Potter is a wizard, and he and his friends try to save Hogwarts, the wizard school, from evil. My name is Annika Guy, and I love the Harry Potter books. Whenever I can, I look at the Pottermore website. I write my own fan fiction, and if I dream, it's always about hippogriffs and chocolate frogs. As long as I had Harry Potter, life was great. Until, that is, I took the sorting quiz on Pottermore. You see, at Hogwarts, the kids are placed into different houses or groups based on their true selves. If you're brave, like Harry Potter, you're a Gryffindor. If you're smart and funny, you're a Ravenclaw. And if you're the sneaky, ambitious type, you're a Slytherin. But the kids who are kind and gentle and loyal and patient and not so exciting are Hufflepuffs. They're never in the action. They're boring people. And I am a Hufflepuff. It all began when I walked into a shop that was selling Hogwarts robes. I really wanted one. But which house did I belong to? I begged my mom to let me take the sorting quiz on Pottermore. After the last question, I shut my eyes, crossed my fingers, and quietly said, "Please not Hufflepuff, please not Hufflepuff." But when I opened my eyes, I saw a bright yellow screen that read Hufflepuff. Then time stopped. Life ended. The Dementors flew past my face. I got pretty upset. And on top of it all was this boy in the elevator. He said, "I'm a Gryffindor. What are you?" And I quietly said, "Hufflepuff." And he laughed. It was awful. I was about to start sobbing when my mom said, "Just get a Gryffindor cloak. Who cares?" Then I realized something. I cast my Patronus and the Dementors flew away. It doesn't matter what others think. It's your opinion of yourself that counts. I didn't need some quiz to figure out my true self. So I got that Gryffindor cloak. And next year, I might be a Ravenclaw. Possibly a Slytherin. And, oh fine, maybe even a Hufflepuff.
Dear teachers, what's the point of homework? I repeat, dear teachers, what's the point of homework? I mean, I don't get it. Classwork is just enough. Besides, how could we possibly forget what you people say? You talk louder than elephant chunks. And think I don't know my timetables? 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9. Well, maybe I need a little homework. Still don't get the point. I'm serious. Miss Young or Dr. Glenn, can you answer me, please? Tell me, what's the point of homework? And the questions. Some are too easy and some just common knowledge. At first I thought the point of homework was so we don't lose any knowledge overnight. But the teacher's voices still be in my head. Do compatible numbers on this, and partial quotient on this. Or even in science. What is a water cycle? I'd be sleep talking and walking while doing the hand gestures. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and run off. I wish homework would run off of me. My mom would wake me up in the morning. She said, "Naja, get up, get up." I said, huh? Oh, 2 times 2 equals what? She said, honey, get up and put them clothes on. Nobody got time for that. And don't forget to turn in your homework. Well, I guess the point of homework is to practice what we've learned in class. Practice reading, become a better reader. Practice math, become a better problem solver. After all, Dr. Sanders always say, smart is not something you are, it's something you become. And practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Well, I guess I'll be doing homework forever. Endeavor.
Our world would be a spectacular place
if everyone were kinder than necessary. This world is filled with different emotions, but today we only have time to talk about only 3. First, I'm going to say what makes this world so scary and explain why. Second, I will explain the sad part of our world. After that, I'll show you the good in our world. Last, in my conclusion, I will sum up some of my advice. First of all, our world can be scary because some people kill innocent people a lot these days. Not only does this tear families apart, but it makes people not want to go to public places. And another scary thing are natural disasters. Sometimes we're scared of evacuating our homes or even losing them. And at other times we're afraid of losing our schools. And we're scared sometimes not knowing when or where these tragic things are going to happen. Second, this world makes us so sad when we have these shootings and natural disasters. Kids lose their parents or parents lose their kids sometimes. A lot of families lose their homes. Kids lose their schools, warm clothes, and many other things due to natural disasters. The saddest part of this is that only a little bit of people help out. The loss of a loved one feels like having a dark, deep hole inside you. The world looks like it lost its colors, and you know nothing will ever be the same. You feel like screaming at the world to get the person back, and you can do anything. At least to have one more conversation with that person. But we can help, sometimes by just being a shoulder to cry on. But with all this, the world has more good than bad. And when terrible things happen, there should always be good people standing up to help. We can donate canned food, blankets, money, toys, medicine, and clothing. These simple things make a great difference. There are now better hospitals, technology, and schools. Companies and small businesses are helping by donating things to people in need. So are schools. To sum up my thoughts, when people need help, we should help out. We have to live our lives the best we can and enjoy it with our families and all the people we love. If you're not convinced in helping someone in need, remember this that my pastor always tells us. Today I help you, tomorrow help me.
Parents can do many things that their kids can't. They can tell us what to do, punish us, ground us, and they can guess those old-time phrases on Wheel of Fortune. But have you ever thought about what we can do that they can't? Let's think about it. These days, some parents are going to the gym to work out because they're trying to stay fit. But for most parents, when it comes to backflipping off a trampoline into the foam pit at Sky Zone, that's a no-no. So instead, they say, that seems like fun and all, but I think I'll go sit at that table. Yeah, right over there, next to the old man in the green shirt. Oh, and don't even get me started on Facebook and Twitter. It's like the only type of social media parents know how to use. You should see people trying to explain to parents what Snapchat is. The parents say, what's the point of sending a picture to someone? Ooh, what does this button do? Ah, why do I look like a dog? You simply say, Mom, it's just a filter. Now that I think about it, maybe it's better for parents to stick to Facebook. Picture it. You're in the car on your way to school. Your all-time favorite song is on the radio, and you're rocking out. And then your dad changes it. I mean, come on. Nobody wants to listen to the people on talk radio discuss the history of chocolate. I tell him that, then we end up listening to his jams. I've never heard someone sing a song and literally sing every word wrong. You should hear my mom try to sing 7 years old. She says, soon we'll be 30 years old, I think I'll smell like mold. You'll hear me saying, Mom, those clearly aren't the words. But of course, she completely ignores me and goes on, singing about her 30-year-old smell of mold. And let's all not forget the first time I got a fidget spinner. Right when we got in the car, I opened it and immediately started spinning it. My mom asked me, what else does it do? I said, that's it. Then out of nowhere, I hear, so you mean to tell me that I just wasted my $15 on this? All this means is that parents cannot and will not ever understand trends. Kids can pull off sarcasm. Parents say it with a wink. I mean, it totally gives it away. Kids will say, the end, and then Mom asks, is your speech over? I reply with a very obvious, duh.
here to talk about preserving the earth. How is this important? And why would I want to talk about this? Well, so far, we've battled against our planet with weapons worse than swords. Oil drilling, tree cutting, and littering. Is this the future that you want for your family and your friends? Is making our planet a better place going to be a challenge? If it is, it's a challenge that's definitely worth trying. I believe that each commitment, no matter how small, helps. We should be using solar energy instead of oil. It's much more renewable and it doesn't pollute the air. Why we use oil instead? I don't know. We throw trash on the ground. Well, I can tell you where it is now. It's in the ocean, or in that pesky raccoon that keeps knocking over your trash can's stomach. Use solar energy instead of oil, or vote against drilling. It's that easy to make a simple difference in the air's quality. If that doesn't work, plant a tree for one that's cut down, or start a recycling routine. You can even just pick trash up. But no matter how big or how small you are, you should do your home, your family, and yourself a favor and preserve the earth.
If we go to school, then why do we have homework? At home. Free from school. Well, we think we're free. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is why do we have homework if we go to school half our day? I just don't understand why we have 3 to 4 pages of homework each day. We have activities to do at home. I do karate right after school. Then I wait for my sister to get out to the room. I guess 1 hour isn't enough, waiting on my sister to get out, and I'm trying to finish that day's homework. They gave us this Tropicana speech, and today I'm trying to get a portion of it done. I'm not trying to complain, but can we at least get some sleep? Come on, if you give us too much homework, we'll stress. We'll get overwhelmed too. Teachers only give us homework for practice and extra review. And trust me, being stressed with homework or extra review is not fun at all. Just like being an honor roll student is harder than you think. I'll be stressed if I don't finish all my homework. That's why I do all of it I don't need to do. It takes time, but it's worth it. I'm just saying, no homework, and I'm happy. Really happy. Happier than you would think. Surprising, right? This is a comment for students and teachers, all of them. And here are a few more comments to end it all up. Here's for students. I feel you students, or classmates who are stressed finishing their homework. Now for teachers. Listen to this and read it twice. No homework, please, and probably no thank you. Last but not least, in my personal opinion, homework is plain pointless, 100% pointless, in my opinion. I hope you agree with me, folks. So the next time your teacher hands you a homework assignment, tell them you're homework free. Also, here's a fact. Roberto Nevilis invented homework as a punishment. I know, I'm mad too. I just don't understand why good kids still have it these days. And teachers, don't answer, practice. Imagine finding out that your favorite baseball team used to cheat. That's what I discovered this summer when I went to Chicago and toured Wrigley Field, home of the Cubs. It is the second oldest ballpark in America, full of history, tradition, and interesting trivia. Like how Cubs fans long ago used home field advantage to try to help their team win. Wrigley Field was first known as Weekman Park, and when the Cubs started playing there in 1916, there was no outfield fence or wall. Instead, fans left a long rope in the outfield. When the visiting team came up to bat, fans would step back about 50 feet and hold the rope over their heads. But when the Cubs came up to bat, fans suddenly grew tired of holding the rope and would move forward 50 feet and lay it on the ground. The Cubs considered this home field advantage. Opposing teams called it cheating. They got away with this for about 10 years. But during that time, they still managed to lose most of their games. Another thing Cubs fans used to do was sit in center field wearing dark coats over white shirts. When the opposing team came up the bat, fans sensed the heat wave coming and took off their coats. Batters, looking at the pitcher, with center field directly behind him, found it very hard to see a tiny white ball among hundreds of white shirts. But when the Cubs came up the bat, fans would suddenly feel a chill in the air and put their dark coats back on, making it easier for Chicago batters to see the ball. The Cubs considered this home field advantage. Opposing teams called it cheating. Those things took place 100 years ago, but their effects are still felt today. For instance, no major league ballpark in America has center field seats directly behind the pitcher's mound, all because of Cubs fans. So what do you think? Was it home field advantage, or was it cheating? I guess it all depends on who you root for.
The Statue of Liberty, that huge green lady standing on Liberty Island in New York Harbor. Since she was given to the United States as a gift from the people of France, she has been a beacon of hope to millions of immigrants, including some of my ancestors. The Statue of Liberty is a colossal statue of a robed lady holding a torch in one hand and a tablet with July 4, 1776 written on it in the other hand. It was a gift to the United States to honor the 1876 centennial of American independence. The statue was originally proposed by Edouard René de La Boulaye, an important French politician and abolitionist. La Boulaye collaborated with French sculptor Frédéric Bartholdi to design the statue. Its framework was designed by Gustave Eiffel, who later built the Eiffel Tower. In 1875, citizens of France began raising funds equivalent to $400,000 US, and the building process was begun. In return for the gift, La Boulaye requested that a pedestal be built for it to stand on. Americans of all classes and nationalities donated money for this cause. Construction of the pedestal began in 1884 on Liberty Island. Most immigrants passing through Ellis Island were poor and exhausted from their difficult journey. But when they saw the Statue of Liberty, they were inspired because it meant that they finally reached America, the land of opportunity, where they would enjoy the freedoms represented by Lady Liberty. A poem on the pedestal called the New Colossus describes the immigrants when it says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." It makes it clear that every person who comes here looking for freedom and opportunities is welcome. Two of those immigrants were in my family. In third grade, I was assigned to research my family tree. I was excited to find that on my dad's side, my great-great-great-grandparents immigrated to America from Ireland. They and their children arrived in New York City on December 2, 1884, aboard a ship named the Wyoming. While the statue was 2 years from completion, they could have seen the pedestal being built. Settling in Lower Manhattan, they enjoyed the opportunities provided by America and had the chance to watch the statue being assembled. On my mom's side, my grandmother immigrated to New York from Guatemala in 1963. While she arrived by plane in the middle of the night, the statue meant enough to her that she went to see it the very next day. For over 130 years, the Statue of Liberty has welcomed millions, including some of my family and maybe yours, to our shores. I hope one day to go see her myself and that many future Americans will be welcomed and inspired by Lady Liberty.
Oh, how I love the feel of crisp wind on a Sunday morning. As the sun shines in my face, my heart beats in a slow melody. The rhythm slapping my feet against the pavement fills me with contentment. It encourages myself to push myself, to challenge myself. This is the joy of running. I haven't always been a runner. What a beautiful Sunday morning. I woke up with the sun glinting in my eyes. I sighed to myself, what a beautiful day it is. I'm going to sleep in. But you know what? I didn't have a choice. Bam! I get slapped in the face by my little brother with a pillow. That can only mean one thing. Get up and get out of there quickly. I threw my clothes on and fled out of the room to avoid the battle zone. I trotted downstairs and spotted my dad leave. Before he could do anything else, I hollered, "Hey Dad, where are you going?" He replied with 5 words that would change my life. "I'm going for a run." A run? That sounds fun. I followed my dad outside in mid-running. As I was running, I thought to myself,
What a beautiful way to see God's creation. It's also a great way to relieve stress and exercise too. Ever since that day, I haven't stopped running. After a year or so, I asked my mom if there were running teams. You see, I really like the challenge that comes from competing against other people. She said yes, and she also mentioned my aunt won the state meet when she was younger and still holds state titles. That made me go crazy and want me to sign up even more. I immediately begged her to sign me up for a school cross-country team. A few weeks later, I heard I was on the team. I jumped like a frog who was trying to get to fly while running away from a cat. You might say I was a little excited. After weeks of training, I arrived at my first cross-country meet. I was trembling as I walked out of the car. Every step I began to fall. It was time for the meet. A guy in a bright neon shirt came in front of the runners to start the race. 3, 2, 1, bam! We were off. Once we started running, my training kicked in and all my fears melted away. I was running and a guy behind me said, "Watch your step." What? Bam! Next thing you know it, I'm eating dirt. Well, that was embarrassing. I picked myself up and started running again. I saw the finish line. I sprinted as fast as I could. I was done with a time of 12:26, and I felt incredible. That day, I learned instead of sitting down and watching TV, I need to get up and run. So let's recap what running is. R means rejuvenating, feeling of contentment and peace that really comes from pushing yourself. U means unforgettable memories, like the ones I've made on my cross-country team. And N means never give up, even when you fall on your face. So I encourage you to get off your bum and start to run.
What does it mean to bully? A new kid went to the playground and asked if he could play with a group of boys. When he tried to join the group, they started laughing at him and making fun of how he looked. They might not even know they are bullying him, but this boy left the day feeling very hurt and scared to return to school the next day. The definition of bullying is to frighten, hurt, or threaten a weaker person. Bullying can be done by one person or a group of people. You can even be a part of bullying if you join in by laughing. You should not bully because it's wrong and hurtful. The Bible tells us to do unto others as we would want others to do to us. Of course, we don't want to be frightened, hurt, or threatened, so why would we do it to others? So why would people bully them? People who usually bully want to make themselves feel better by tearing someone else down. Bullying can be used to get attention. Bullying can also be learned behavior from another friend or even a family member. When you are bullied, you should do the following. You should not ignore the situation, but go to a teacher, a parent, or anybody you trust to help. Also, stand up for yourself. Another good thing is to pray for that person because there's probably something going on in their own lives that is really hard. Through prayer, God will be your helper and fight the battle for you. If you have bullied or cheered on bullying, you need to say you're sorry because we all make mistakes. There's really no reason to bully because a kid looks different. God made us all one of a kind. Remember, you don't say everything that's on your mind. Ask yourself, does this build up this person or tear them down? I like the saying, stop, silent tongue, only praying. Take a stand for what is right. Plus, you never know how God will bless you for making the choice to be kind.
Being different is being unique. Being different is being you. What does being different mean? That you like to eat ice cream with hot dogs? That you like to walk 3 steps and hop on the 4th? Or even sleeping with one leg hanging out of the bed? What about how you see the world? How you learn? Well, to me, being different is simply being unique. We're all born to be different from the next person. We may have the same color hair or eyes. We may even like the same things. But there's so many things that makes us different. Being different doesn't mean to go off and do wrong. because others are doing right. No, not that kind of different. The kind of different that I'm speaking of is being who you are without feeling that there's something wrong with it. I love to be around people, but sometimes I get very shy because I'm not sure how to communicate that I'm interested in a lot of cool things that other kids are interested in. Ever heard of autism? Well, this unique word just means that for me, it takes a bit longer to communicate than others, that I can do really cool things like memorize a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speech in a week or less, that I have a special gift for being creative and making crafts. I love to do speeches because it gives me an opportunity to speak to people, but not really speak to people. Some people may consider that different. I just say that I'm unique, but normal. But what is normal? It is simply being you. There is no one else like you. Even if you're a twin, there are still some things that make you different. Say it after me. Be you.
Be you.
Be unique.
Be unique.
Be great.
Be great.
Thank you.
Have you ever heard the expression, don't be a fool, stay in school? Does anyone know why you should stay in school? Well, I do, and today I'm going to share it with you. Today I'm going to talk about the subjects and how they are important. I'm going to talk about the positive outcome of staying in school and the negative outcome of not staying in school. Now, we're going to talk about the subjects, math, language arts, and history. Math is very important. It teaches you add, subtract, multiply, divide. Without these 4 little things, life can be difficult. If you can't manage money, how can you tell if Uncle Sam's taking the right amount of pennies from you? Language arts is just as important as math. If you can't read, write, or use proper English, how are people going to understand anything? History is a subject that explains the past, so we understand why things are the way they are today. So far, we have talked about the subjects and how they are helpful. Now we're going to talk about the positive outcome of staying in school. One positive outcome of staying in school is it leads to a great career, like being a lawyer, doctor, or even working for NASA, which all these careers makes lots of money. And you know we would all like that. Another positive outcome of staying in school is meeting new people. And meeting new people means improving social skills. And social skills does not mean Facebook. Like everything positive, there's a negative. And nothing negative seems to work. Not staying in school can lead to poor judgment, and poor judgment can lead to working at McDonald's flipping burgers. Who wants to do that? I don't. It can also lead to being homeless, and being homeless stinks. Literally, you have nowhere to take a bath. With all that being said, now we know the importance of why you should stay in school. We learned the importance of the subjects you learn and about the positive outcome of staying in school. So in conclusion, don't be a fool, stay in school.
Have you ever heard the song Sorry Not Sorry by Demi Lovato? Every time it comes on the radio, I want to shout. I beg my mom to change the station. Why, you ask? It's terrible. All Demi does is scream. Have people forgotten how to sing? I love music from the 70s. Bands wrote their own music, played their own instruments, and sang their own songs. There was no auto-tune, a computer did not play the backing tracks, and music was recorded in actual studios. In the 70s, music legends were created. Have you ever heard of Queen, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, the Eagles, or Journey? These bands were amazing. Their songs were out of this world. They wrote songs that started movements that inspired nations of people. There are still a few bands who do make good music today. Bands like Imagine Dragons, One Republic, and Maroon 5 obviously listen to ELO, The Beatles, and Fleetwood Mac. But do you know who didn't? Justin Bieber. He actually thought this was cool, chilling by the fire while we eatin' fondue. Yeah, I know, right? Terrible. I can't make this stuff up. Taylor Swift. All you have to do is break up with her and she'll write a song about you. Auto-tune and computer programs that change the tone of artists' voices annoy me. Do you know what else annoys me? Artists, and I use that term loosely, that think they can rap. They just stand up there on the stage repeating themselves over and over and over and over again. Annoying, isn't it? I'm currently taking guitar and vocal lessons. Do you think I was inspired by Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, or Meghan Trainor? No, I was inspired by David Bowie, the Jackson 5, Eric Clapton. My vocal coach, Mr. Kyle, says that 90% of the music today is garbage. I have to agree with him. So, how can we stop all this bad music? I'll tell you, stop buying and listening to it. Ask your parents for some of their old music. Listen to it, get inspired. Not only will you love it, but your parents will be impressed. In the famous words of Leonard Skinner, if I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? I hope you do, and find some real music to listen to.
Basketball. A game that started with 18 men was invented in 1891 by James Naismith, who is a teacher at YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts. He is looking for an indoor activity to use during the winter months to quiet down a bunch of rowdy kids. The game of basketball was influenced by a childhood rock story game. He originally invented the backboard because the audience who watched the basketball game from the balcony used to interfere by touching the ball. Adding a backboard to the game prevented people from interfering. History began to take a turn when Nancy Lieberman became the first woman to go pro in the men's basketball league. In 1986, she joined the United States League as a backup point guard. In 2001, Lisa Boyer was the first woman as an assistant coach in the NBA proper, when the Cleveland Cavaliers enlisted her for one season. I know by now you're all wondering, why is she talking about basketball? That's a boys' sport. Well, I'm here today to share my experience with the sport of basketball. Some of you may know I have an older sister that plays basketball for Rutgers High School. She has played since she was 7 years old and now holds a position as a point guard at her school. It is because of her that I grew up around the basketball gym. When I was 5 years old, I played my first basketball game. My sister showed me that basketball is not a boys' sport and that girls can not only play basketball, but be good at it too. My mom, dad, older sister, her teammates, and coaches have inspired my love for basketball. Did I mention that I only play on teams with boys? That's right. I have always been the only girl on my team and hold position as a point guard on my team. Girls basketball is on the rise. In closing, I'm not sure the best women's basketball coach is, but my mom and sister said it's the late Pat Summitt. After doing some more research, I found a quote that I like. The quote talked about not quitting and how giving up is caused by not understanding commitment. If you keep fighting for what you want in life, you'll be better prepared for what it is you want. Life is like a basketball game. You win some, you lose some. Either way, play a game until the clock says 0.
Have you ever wanted to fly or become invisible? I'm pretty sure most of us have wished to have superpowers at least once in their lives. When we think of superpowers, we probably think of Spider-Man or Batman. But real spiders and real bats are far more amazing. When faced with problems, some animals can have a pretty crazy way of solving them. So sit back and try to relax as I tell you about a few animals that will amaze you. Many of us have dogs, but did you know that the tiny flea that lives on your dog can jump 150 times its own height?
If humans could do this, we could jump over skyscrapers. Many animals have adaptations that help them escape a predator or survive a hostile environment. I like to think of these mechanisms as cool tricks or life hacks animals use to escape being squished, chased, or eaten. Take, for example, the horned lizard found in the deserts of Mexico. When it's being chased, it shoots blood from its eye sockets at its predators. Or another lizard, the loping palmetto gecko. In the Namib Desert in Africa, where it can reach up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit and water is scarce, he licks off early morning dewdrops that is collected on his eyeballs to quench his thirst. Some lizards can even change color to blend into their surroundings. It's the next best thing to going invisible. And the Jesus Christ lizard is so called for its ability to run on water. It's not just lizards. Even in the deep oceans and jungles, we can see examples of adaptation. Pufferfish puff up with air so that they are too big for them onto the predator. Some animals, like the firefly, can produce light from their own bodies. Remember the bioluminescent anglerfish in Finding Nemo that dangles a little light in dark waters to attract its prey? That fish is real. I could go on forever, but the funny thing is, humans are excellent at adapting themselves. We can't fly. We have been inspired by amazing creatures around us. Have you noticed that the helicopter is inspired by the dragonfly? And where you come with the idea to use pepper spray or taser guns on attackers? Maybe it comes to the stingray. Biomimicry, or imitating nature, has helped us come up with solutions to many complex problems. As a first grader, I couldn't tie my shoelaces. I was very thankful for Velcro, a 1941 invention inspired by thorny burrs. We should continue to look to nature for sustainable solutions to major problems like energy conservation. I would like to leave you with that thought. Let's appreciate life around us. The next time you see a creepy crawly, take a moment to enjoy and look at it very carefully before reaching for the can of bug spray.
OMG. Have you ever wished that your baby sister would stop bothering with you? Well, I wish that. I know, it may sound horrible, but I have good reasons for my wish. Let me refer these reasons as issue 1 and issue 2. Issue 1, the cute eyes. Everywhere we go, my little sister always has to start with the one head and her one little hand to start this cute thing she always do. Here as it goes. Head up, hands out, hands in, and then this is what she says. Hello, my name is Amaya. I love your dress. What? What is wrong with you? I mean, she don't have nothing in her mind but a brain full of love and another brain full of dark hearts. Like hearts of no love. She don't even like me. When I go home, I tell her, put your clothes on. Why are you out here with no shirt? So she just runs back in the closet, hides there, and when she comes out with my big shoes on, telling her to take them off, they're not yours. Then she runs outside and says, everybody, look at my shoes, they're so cute, and then, no, they don't need to be cute at all. So, that's the first issue about my little sister. Second issue, the blaming and the tattling. Don't you hate when your baby sister always tattle on you? Now that's the most annoying thing I have ever heard in my life. Here are the two things I got in trouble for, but of course I didn't do it. She's the one who tattled on me. First thing, I went to the bathroom and I just used the bathroom one time. I came out. My sister ran in and she used the bathroom, and when she come out, she tells on my daddy, oh my God, my sister, she wet the floor again. I didn't wet the floor. And then my daddy says, how dare you wet the floor? Go clean it up. So I tell her, why are you telling on me?
Because I hate you. You're not my big sister. You're a medium sister.
I'm telling you. What? So I went in there and cleaned it up. Now that's the worst thing. It stinks in there. There's no air freshener in there. There's no soap in there. I mean, you need napkins or toilet paper to wipe the floor. So that's the second issue. And now, here's my conclusion if I want to fix this. I need to show her that she needs to stop bullying me for everything I do. I need to reverse the roles and see if she enjoys being in the hot seat. Like the hot seat of the air, flashing all you see. Hot. But if she's still my best sister, plus annoying, I still love her like this. Thank you.
Have you ever heard this story before? Two kids jump on a trampoline. One falls down. Yes, we all know what happens next. Bang! They bump into each other. Now one has no teeth. Next, shall we look at the many functions of teeth? Do you ever miss the crunch of a chip? Well, that's how it's going to be when you're toothless. Hear anything? Nope. That's because you're eating applesauce. Yes. No more chips. No more crackers. No more apples or popcorn. Pizza and chicken nuggets are also not on the list. Just mushy stuff, like peas and mashed potatoes. But believe me, I lost my 2 front teeth on Christmas and only ate applesauce. What a gift. Don't lose your teeth so you can eat chips. Second of all, you will have to speak over and over and over again because people can't understand you. How? Well, my grandmother did an example for me, and now I will do an example for you. If you do not have teeth, you will talk like this. Some people have fake teeth called dentures because they are missing their grown-up teeth. Dentures come with a whole new set of problems. Please, pretty please, don't ruin your teeth. Worst of all, it hurts. Physically pushing your gums together hurts. Other people will mock you because you look funny. And I mean really funny. When I only bump my teeth, it hurt. So just think about what it would feel like when you get them knocked out of your head. It really is a pain. In conclusion, protect your teeth. Do not think I am crazy. If you do not protect your teeth, you can't eat crunchy food. People can't understand you, and it will hurt. These are all reasons why you should take care of your teeth. Be a shield for your teeth because you only get 1 set of grown-up teeth.
Robin Rihanna Fenty. My favorite singer is Robin Rihanna Fenty. She was born in 1988 in St. Michael, Barbados. She is known for being a very great singer. A good song will start you dancing. Rihanna is also known for her amazing dance moves. I like that Rihanna is an entrepreneur. These are the reasons why Rihanna is my favorite singer. First of all, Rihanna is known for being a very great singer. Her songs will always have me in my feelings. For example, like Shine Bright Like a Diamond, Shine Bright Like a Diamond, Find the light in the beautiful sea, I choose to be happy. Her voice is so amazing that other artists want her on their song. Rihanna had also won Grammys for her music. Secondly, Rihanna can dance. In all of her videos, Her moves are awesome. Rihanna can dance so good that she will come up with her own dance routine in a matter of minutes. I would love to learn those moves. Last but not least, I like that Rihanna is an entrepreneur. One of her business ventures are her Pumas. My favorite ones are the rose gold pair with the bow. Rihanna's other business venture is her makeup line called Fenty. She has over 40 shades of foundation. I want to have my own one day like Rihanna. In conclusion, my favorite singer is Robin Rihanna Fenty. She is known for being a very great singer. Rihanna has some awesome dance moves that makes you want to get up and dance. I like that she's an entrepreneur, which has inspired me to have my own business one day, just like Rihanna.
Dance is one thing I have interest in, and I do it almost every day. Today, I'm going to tell you what I like about dance, what I do in practice, and what types of dances there are. Dance is all about teamwork and having fun. It can also tell a story and make you feel emotions. Dance can inspire other people in many different ways, just like I want to inspire you to dance. Dance is a great sport. You learn how to work as a team, work as an individual, and you can show feeling or emotion through dance. This goes along with what kind of dance you're performing to. The types of dances I perform to are contemporary, lyrical, jazz, hip-hop, and tap. Contemporary and lyrical are slower songs, while jazz, hip-hop, and tap are faster. My favorite type of dance is contemporary, because in my opinion, you are able to be more expressive with your feelings. Dance is a sport that you have to practice often. While you're there, use specific things you have to do. For example, you have to stretch, work on dance techniques, go across the floor doing leaps and other moves, and run over your dance routine. When you stretch, some things you might do are extensions and splits. You also might stretch your hamstring, your back, and your arms. Doing dance techniques and going across the floor include leaps, turns, and jumps. Dance techniques help with moves you might have in your dance. Whenever you're in class, you will have a routine that you dance to. You have to do that routine over and over again to clean or fix it, because the phrase we like to use is practice makes perfect. Dance is my favorite sport. I like how you can work as a team and share friendships. I dance almost every day and enjoy every second of it. I want to keep dancing strong throughout my life and inspire other people to do it too. I started the sport when I was 3 and have been doing it ever since. Dance is my all-time favorite and will always be. Dance is a sport that I have interest in, and I told you all about it. I have told you what I do during dance, what I like about it, and what types there are. I hope you were inspired and look into the sport of dance. I guarantee you will love it and make special memories and lifelong friendships to keep. Until then, I'll see you on stage.
MVP, MVP, MVP. I always hear parents and family members say that kids are getting their good grades because of their great thinking skills and sharp intelligence. Some of that may be true, but there's a lot more to it than that. All students are smart. Some may be good in reading or history classes. Others may be even better in math and science subjects. But how do they get that smart? How are they able to grasp the information being given? I'll tell you how. Teachers. Once a student steps into a new class, he or she may hardly know anything about that class and subject. He or she may even have trouble understanding the lesson or problem. But before we can worry, a teacher takes the time out to lead us, educate us, and teach us how to do it, even when we don't get it right the first time. Teachers use their wisdom and skills in instructing, just like superheroes use their superpowers. Even when the subject can really be challenging, teachers always find a way to make the most difficult work turn out to be easy, using ideas and strategies to make learning fun, also encouraging you to believe
athlete, I participate in 2 sports, basketball and football. On Saturday mornings, football games can be very intense. There has been plenty of times I've been anxious or nervous before the start of a big game. Then all of a sudden, I see a very familiar face. She was just a little different, but I knew that loud voice all too well. It was my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Lynn. The confidence she gave me on the field that day, I felt it, and I didn't want to disappoint her. Even though we lost, she still made me feel like I won. Even at some of my basketball games, which are during the week, my 4th grade teachers, Miss Smith and Miss Williams, came out, and they were even louder than my parents. They gave me such an energetic spark on the court, just like the motivation I get before taking a test. Most often, we forget teachers are people, just like you and I, that have lives of their own. They cry, get mad, and have happy moments as well. As students, we must respect our teachers because they don't just do their job because they want to. They do it because they love it. In conclusion, teachers give us ideas to learn any subject, the confidence to overcome any obstacle, and the belief is to dream as high as an eagle can fly. Their presence in our young lives is more valuable than any amount of money. And that is why, to me, teachers are the real MVP. Thank you.
Have you ever seen the movie Cinderella? Well, I'm sure you have. Maybe you remember the 2 stepsisters, Anastasia and Gisela. Welcome to my world, and it's no fairy tale because those sisters, I have to live with them. So let me tell you what life is like with 2 sisters. Now I only have 3 minutes, so I will just tell you a few of the reasons why having sisters is annoying and stressful. Anytime I am playing a video game, they mess me up and make me lose the game. Give me a break. I might be minding my own business, sitting in my room, and they bother me by pulling my hair, jumping on me, and trying to fight with me. Whenever we're on a car ride and I am reading a book, I can't concentrate because all I hear is arguing and yelling. I've also learned to duck so I don't get hit by an airborne lollipop or Barbie doll. And just a few weeks ago, I caught my sister eating my Halloween candy. It was my favorite kind of chocolate in the world. I was so mad and wondered why my mom and dad gave me not 1, but 2 sisters to contend with. My mom said, "You wanted a sister." I told her I remember wanting a lightsaber, a dog, maybe even a brother, but never, never, never do I recall saying I wanted a sister, much less 2. My sisters may look cute, but don't be fooled. It's a disguise. They are really rude and aggressive when nobody is looking. They are both smaller than me, but they love to play fight with me and try to hurt me. And do you think my parents believe me? Of course not. Having sisters can also be good at times, I must admit. I always have someone to keep me company when I have nothing to do. They're also fun to play tag with. Well, at least there was that one time. My littlest sister gives me hugs and makes me feel loved. My other sister, let's just say, she's working on it. In conclusion, that's my life and I guess I'll have to live with it. But once I'm 18, that's it, I'm out.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Church Cardona. My speech is about world in danger. Alert, alert, listen up. In the year 2019, we're all going to die. Just kidding. But what's going to happen in 2019 can maybe, possibly happen. It's a big disaster. I'm not joking. Let me tell you 2 reasons that might happen in 2019. So, listen up. Okay, I'm not trying to worry you, but some scientists say the world will end on February 1st, 2019. And it said possibly. Wait, there's more. Scientists have declared a giant asteroid heading towards Earth, and it will crash into Earth at 11:47 a.m. on that day. What? 50% chance the asteroid would come and 50% chance the asteroid would not come. I say 50-50 because it said possibly. How do scientists know the future? Only God knows what's going to happen in February 1st, 2019. I mean, God can see the future. In my opinion, I think the world will end by a natural disaster. I mean, it's happening now. Floods, hurricanes, tornadoes. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the humans are the ones who make the natural disaster that causes them. We, the people, make pollution, destroy nature, cut plants and trees, kill poor and cute animals. So when you see the news of any disaster that's going on in the whole entire planet, when the meteorologists say, well, the earth caused it, or I don't know, well, they are wrong. Humans did it. So, in 2019, one of these reasons will happen. And the message, things that we're going to face in the future, we all want to survive, together, as a team. Also, be prepared, because you don't know if it might happen or if it might not. So, a natural disaster or a giant asteroid, which one of those will destroy the world in 2019? I hope none of them. What do you think?
Does anyone like music? Well, I sure do. Did you know that music is a very important part of our lives? Actually, 90% of the time people get in their car, they turn on the radio. Wow, that's a lot. It is scientifically proven that positive, upbeat music makes people feel happier. Research proves that when you listen to music you like, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine, which causes us to feel emotions like happiness, joy, and excitement. If you're feeling down, you should probably turn on some music and it will make you feel better. Sometimes music has catchy tunes. When it gets in your mind and you sing it, then you're probably having a happy day. In fact, people put music in hospitals and there are studies that prove it actually helps people get better faster. What would we do without music? If your mom says go do your chores and you're upset because chores are not fun, then I have a solution for you. You should turn on some music while you're doing them, and then it makes doing your chores more fun. The music distracts your mind from the negative parts of chores. And you can even dance while listening and working. Have you ever been to a park and saw someone running or walking with earbuds in? Well, that's because they're trying to get their exercise in while making it more fun. The music distracts their mind from the negative parts of chores. No, the negative parts. The music distracts the person and then they get more exercise in, not even noticing it. The faster the beat, the faster the pace because they're trying to keep up with the music. In a store, they usually have music in the background. That can also make it more fun. If you know the song, then you can sing along. If you want to memorize something, it is always good to put it to some music. If you put it to a catchy tune and keep singing it, then you can probably memorize it. For example, the alphabet. When you're little, you learn the song to memorize your ABCs. As you can see, music is useful in our everyday lives. These are some of the benefits of listening to music. So, the next time you're facing something challenging in your life, why don't you just listen to some music?
This is one of the many amazing sounds that a guinea pig makes to show that it's happy. How do I know this? I know this because I own one. His name is Alex and he loves running tracks around his cage. But why do they make such great pets? To find out, here are a few reasons why. First, they're easy to take care of. They love to eat fresh veggies, pelleted food for guinea pigs, hay, fresh water, and a vitamin C supplement each day. They also need a very large cage and some clean bedding. Always give your guinea pig a bath and clean the cage once every week. And if you don't want babies, separate the males and the females. Between a hamster and a guinea pig, I would choose a guinea pig because they're kid-friendly. They make great pets for elementary school-age kids and older. But remember, younger children from ages 0 to 4 should always have an adult supervise them when being around guinea pigs, just like with any other pets. Guinea pigs also live long lives. While most hamsters, rats, and gerbils live 2 to 3 years, Guinea pigs live 4 to 8 years. They also like popcorning. It's basically just like hopping like a rabbit. They do this when they're perked up or excited. Always be ready to take care of your little fuzzball. And just know, all guinea pigs are unique. Even though to look the same doesn't mean they'll act the same. So where some are shy, others are bold and dominant. When selecting one, make sure it matches your personality. There are 10 different breeds of guinea pigs. There are Americans, Abyssinians, Teddies, skinny pigs, Peruvians, Texels, Silkies, Rexes, Himalayans, and of course, white-crested guinea pigs. They are also hardy, which means they are healthy animals, but they do not do well in hot and humid climates. And when you get them toys, never get them a hamster wheel. So now how do you feel about these cute little critters? Now you know, whenever you want the most perfect pet, get a guinea pig. Oh, and that means thank you.
Bang, bang, bang! That's the sound of me shooting my brother's tooth out. But hey, cut me some slack. I was only 4 years old. So, instead of talking about the mistakes I made, I'm going to talk about the mistakes he made. Many mistakes were, in fact, made that day. Somebody gave an airsoft gun to a 4-year-old. Somebody took off his mask. And somebody told an unexperienced 4-year-old to shoot that somebody in the chest. In case you're wondering, that somebody was my older brother. So, this is how it all went down. I was playing a game with my brother and his friend. He gave me an airsoft pistol. My hands were trembling with fear. I was told to shoot him. I closed my eyes and shot. Bang! He was on the floor. 2 pieces scattered everywhere. My mom rushed from the dentist and I thought to myself, wow, that really just happened. I learned some things that day, and here's my tips to all airsoft loaders. First of all, don't give an airsoft gun to a 4-year-old. I mean, when I was 4, my brother picked on me all the time. In my mind, I had every right to shoot him right then, right there. Plus, I thought of guns as toys. I would always watch him play video games where you would shoot someone and they would fly in the air, and I thought that was hilarious. Second, he shouldn't have taken off his mask. Just think about it. What if he got shot in the eye? He could have gone half blind. Masks are there to protect your eyes, and as you know, to protect your mouth. Just put on the mask. It only takes like 5 seconds. Third, never tell your younger brother to shoot you in the chest. I mean, who does that? It's not my fault I never handled a gun before, and it's not like I'm some professional marksman, and even though I did hit him, it would hurt a lot, especially because it's from close range. So remember, if you don't want to lose a tooth, just use common sense, and don't give a gun to a 4-year-old. Definitely don't take off your mask, and never, ever tell him to shoot you in the chest. If you do, you could lose a tooth, or worse. Well, gotta go. My brother and I are about to have a battle. Bang! Uh-oh. Mom? It happened again!
My sisters. My sisters are very sweet when you get to know them. I have 3 sisters, Natalie, Lindley, and Ellie Grace, and they are all very lovable. My older sister is Natalie. She is 25 years old. She, like me, loves video games. She's even programming one. We call it the cube game because for now the characters are white, brown, or blue cubes. She occasionally lets me play her character for her while she grabs a bite to eat, gets a drink, etc., etc. Natalie stays up all night, either playing or programming her own games. And since she stays up so late, she's usually in bed till noon, but she might get up early if she smells my Granny's delicious pancakes cooking. My first younger sister is almost 7 years old, and her name is Lindley. That's spelled Lynnlee. She has tickly curly hair, loves to hug, and always wants to snuggle. She can be pretty crazy, insane in the membrane, but she's still very sweet. Lily is willing to play almost anything and is very friendly, so she can make a friend almost anywhere right off the bat. She and my baby sister, Ellie, sometimes fight like cats and dogs, but mostly they get along pretty well. My baby sister, who I mentioned before, is Ellie Grace. She is 5 years old and she is very stubborn, especially when she first wakes up, probably because she's tired. Ellie has a tendency to stick out her tongue like this and go, ah. She's told the family that this means leave me alone. But when she's playing with someone, it's hard to get her to stop, so actually she's very friendly. So now I have introduced and described my 3 sisters. Remember, they are Natalie, Lindley, and Ellie Grace. I enjoy playing games with my sisters too, like Monopoly, hide and seek, and Sorry with them. I love my sisters, and if you have sisters, you should love them too.
Oh my gosh, leave me alone. Be quiet. Sorry, I was busy yelling at my siblings. My name is Harmony Kaya, and I'm going to be discussing the pains and joys of being the oldest sibling. Sometimes I can't stand being the oldest. Every 5 seconds, I hear, "Ow, stop hitting at me. I'm telling on you." I never get peace and quiet around the house. I have to clean up everything after everybody. Being the oldest siblings means I have to take responsibility in a lot of things and help out around the house. For example, I get in trouble for everything, even when I didn't do it. The worst part is having a younger sister. My younger sister thinks she can tell me what to do and follow me around everywhere I go. Well, even though I could continue on and on with the pains, let's talk about the joys. Some joys of being the oldest siblings are I get to play with my siblings when I'm bored, and sometimes when they leave, I get to spend time with my mom, which I do not get to do often. We may play games where I can tell them what to do, or I go places with my mom. If you didn't notice there were more pains than joys, well, hope you enjoyed my speech. My name is Harmony Carter.
Yay, science! That's probably not what you're all thinking about right now, but it might be after I give you some ideas for ways to get excited about science. Okay, so you can actually like science by learning about the things you love. You might be thinking, how is that going to work? Well, I'll tell you how. This works because there's science in just about everything. For example, think about your phone or any other electronics you use. There's a lot of science that goes into making them work the way they do. Even a pencil and how it's made is science. Anything works, really. For me, I'm interested in owls. So I'm going to be telling you some scientific facts about them that I think are really interesting. When it comes to facts about owls, the first thing that a lot of people think about is how they can turn their heads all the way around. Actually, they can only turn their head 270 degrees. That means they can only turn their head to the back of their bodies instead of all the way around. A lot of owls have tufts at the top of their head. I bet most of you thought that those were their ears, but they're not. Their ears are asymmetrical. That means one ear might be at the top of their head on one side and at the bottom on the other side. Another thing I was curious about is what owls eat. I thought they only ate worms, bugs, and other small creatures. But really, they also hunt other owls. The tiniest owl in the world is an elf owl. It's only 5 to 6 inches tall and weighs only about 1.5 ounces. That's shorter than my American Girl doll and lighter than a tennis ball. The largest North American owl is the great gray owl, which can grow up to 32 inches tall. That would come up to my waist and as big as my 3-year-old sister, Claire. I bet I just told you a couple of things about owls that you didn't know before this speech.
If you don't think you like science, think about something you're really interested in. It might be something that's living, like a plant or an animal. You could try to discover what it eats or how it grows. It could be an object, like a bicycle or a video game. You could try to find out how it's made or how it really works. Then you might discover a whole new way of looking at science.
Friday. What a beautiful word. I just love it. Don't you? Well, I'm going to tell you why I love Fridays. First and foremost, it's pizza day for my family. Everyone loves pizza, especially me. I mean, who doesn't? In fact, according to the survey, most Americans are more likely to grab a slice of pizza than a chocolate bar or even ice cream. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. So many flavors. Second, you can have sleepovers with friends. There are many privileges when you have friends over, like eating junk food or more electronics time. But wait, it gets better. I can stay up late watching Netflix, YouTube, or a 1985 movie. Then we play tag, Nerf War, or Manhunt at 12 o'clock at night. Best of all, when I have friends over, I don't have to do that pesky homework. The last reason why I love Fridays is because it's Friday. It's the end of the week. When I go to school, I have a skip in my step because I know I don't have as much work. Tomorrow's Saturday, and I have quesadillas for lunch. Sure, there will be disappointing times, but hey, all I'm thinking about is the pizza and what we'll do at 8:30 at night. Well, you get the picture. In conclusion, if Friday proposed to me, I'd say heck yeah. If Friday were my pet, I'd take care of it like no other. If Friday were a juice, I'd savor every sip. If Friday were a book, I'd suggest it to all my friends. And if Friday were a day of the week, wait, it already is. Thank you, and happy Friday, even though it's Saturday.
The golden child. When you hear that, what do you think of? The favorite, maybe a kid who always seems to get special treatment? I'm sure it's going to sound bad when your siblings call you the golden child of the family, but there's definitely worse things they could call you. And when it comes to my family, being the golden child just means learning from my siblings' mistakes. And when it comes to mistakes, I've learned from the best. Look, I'm definitely the golden child. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not even all that good. But what I figured out, though, there's a line you do not want to cross. It's that little difference between being bad and being bad. Like Dad's starting to raise his voice, probably on the bad side. Dad's face turning bright red and starting to twitch, better pull back the reins. Or when Mom's using my full legal name, better check myself. But when Mom starts researching military boarding schools, somebody has crossed the line. Okay, I'm just taking mental notes. Hopefully you're starting to get it, but there might be some of you out there that still don't really know what I'm talking about. Let me give you an example. My brother ran in the golf cart into the backflow pipe in the front yard, causing a geyser as big as Old Faithful. Yeah, that's pretty bad, but once my dad paid their emergency plumber's bill, I seriously thought I saw his head spin completely around. At least I kept it to running over some of my mom's flowers in her garden. All I had to do was some yard work. My brother had to pay half the price of the plumbing bill. And let me tell you, that was not cheap. So you have to get my point. It's not that I'm a golden child. I've gotten in trouble for horsing around in school just like everyone else. But when you compare that to setting off a stink bomb in a school locker and causing the entire school to evacuate for half the day, yeah, I guess it's not look too bad. So really just figuring out the boundaries and letting someone else make the big mistakes. Throwing some good manners, listening now and then, and they really love the yes ma'am, no ma'am, and boom, you got yourself a recipe for a golden child. Well, at least in my house.
I hope I've learned enough over the years from my siblings so I can do it on my own once they move out after high school. What am I saying? My brother's never moving out of my parents' house.
Have you ever been to the zoo? There's always a reptile section at the zoo. I've always loved watching the snakes slither around in their cages. But have you seen them outside their cages? It all started when I was 6 years old. It was around the summertime, Saturday, 4:00 p.m. I was outside in the yard doing yard chores, but then I had to go up to the shed to get a rake. As I was in the shed, I heard a rattle. I'm thinking I might have bumped into a box of maracas in it. But then I felt a slither by my foot. Boy, when I tell you, when I turned around and looked on that floor, I jumped, hopped, skipped, and ran. You would have thought I was on the track team. I haven't moved like that a day in my life. I went running all the way to the house, screaming like a cheerleader. I went running to the house, and my Nana said, "Boy, what on earth is wrong with you? It's a snake." My mom said, "Boy, where? In the shed?" Nana said, "What killed it? That thing big." My little brother Corey said, "Well, let that thing stay right where it at." They all went outside to go see the snake, but me. Then eventually, my Nana called her brother-in-law, John, to come down and kill the snake. When he got there, his heart liked to jump out his chest. But from now on, when I go to the zoo, I don't even stop to look at the reptile section. I just keep walking. And when I see a snake, I go the other direction. I may even run.
Nia, pick up that food off of the floor before I take your phone for a week. VJ, put the dog down. Now I get out of the bathroom. Yeah, this is my typical morning and just a few of the shenanigans that I endure. Being the middle child practically sucks, but on the right side, 50% of the time they don't even know I'm there. Yes, I'm the peace in the middle of a storm. Speaking of storms, let's talk about Mom the Tornado. When she walks into a room, she owns it. However, there's a little tornado swirling inside of her brain. Like tornadoes, her bad days affect everybody. And when those different emotions mix, the tornado gets bigger, and I take shelter in my room. Gma the blizzard. Gma, grandma, is like a blizzard because she spreads her love and compassion over everyone and takes care of everybody. However, she has her cold moments. Her stress level spreads, leads to strong words and feelings. When her north wind episode is over, you can see the beautiful scenery again. VJ the hurricane. VJ, my annoying little brother, is like a hurricane. He goes into rages very unexpectedly, which leads to big problems that are very hard to deal with. If one minor thing goes wrong and doesn't go his way, he floods the house with his feelings and goes insane. Let's not forget his strong winds of chucking things at my face and his roaring screams of agony. When he's at a category 5, I do what it takes to stay alive. Nyla the thunderstorm, Nyla, my bougie teenage big sister, is like a thunderstorm. She's not that bad, but can do some damage with her mood swings. Her mood swings are like lightning. You can't hear them coming, but you can see her mood strike. Her anger is like thunder. You don't want to stick around for the boom. Finally, let's talk about me, Nia, the peace in the middle of a storm. I keep everyone and everything calm despite all the chaotic moments. And when I say chaotic, I mean chaotic. I calm the raging waters of emotions, shelter their secrets, repair cracked relationships, and I restore happiness. Yeah, being the middle child sucks, but there's good things. I've always heard my Gma say, a family that prays together stays together. Well, I'm here to let you know even a family that rages together stays together. So, are you the peace in the middle of your storm? Yes, my family is the perfect storm.
Have you ever really thought about the word chocolate before?
Well, I'm here to tell you all about it. First of all, the word chocolate means food of the gods. You weren't expecting that, were you? So let's talk about chocolate and even its health benefits. I traveled all the way to the Chocolate Kingdom, which is actually just down the road in Kissimmee, to learn all I can about this sugary treat. Let's start at the beginning. A very, very long time ago, when there were still Aztecs in Mexico, some men were strolling in the forest when they spotted monkeys shaking cacao beans onto the forest floor. They noted that the monkeys were chewing strange white seeds from the pods. They couldn't decide what to do with them, so they took the cacao beans to their king. Montezuma, who was their king at the time, took one bite, decided it would taste better as a drink with chili pepper added, and then he started spinning around singing, "It's the most wonderful treat in the world." I just made that part up. But he did really like them. And still, the cacao beans were the Aztecs' greatest treasure, and they valued them as if they were gold. Soon after that, the famous explorer Cortez, who had been looking for gold, came upon Mexico. When he came, Montezuma believed a myth that a god would come sailing on a ship to Mexico. So, when Cortez came sailing on a ship to Mexico, it seemed pretty obvious to everybody that he must be that god. They needed to fear Cortez since he had already conquered another tribe. So to keep him happy, they offered him a spicy chocolate drink. Despite their offerings, he conquered them and took all the chocolate back to Spain for him and his friends. Back in Spain, the rich folks kept the chocolate a secret for decades and decades, until a monk discovered that hot chocolate could help him get through the fast before Mass. He shared this with others, and soon the recipe spread around Europe. Sometimes, I wish I could go back in time and thank him for spilling the beans. Because if he hadn't done this, they wouldn't have all the health benefits of dark chocolate today. Speaking of which, did you know there are 10 reasons why you should not feel bad about eating chocolate? 10, it's a brain booster. 9, it's a natural healer for coughs. 8, it's flavonoid rich. 7, raw cacao helps prevent cavities. 6, it's a natural antidepressant. 5, it's rich in antioxidants. 4, it imitates the feeling of being in love. 3, it's vitamin packed. 2, it's healthy for your heart. And this is my favorite one, it can help you live longer. Because who wouldn't want to live longer if they got to eat chocolate the whole time? So next time you ask for chocolate, remind your parents that not only is it delicious and healthy, but it's the food of the gods.
Let me ask you a question. Does anyone in this room have a sibling? Maybe younger sister or older brother? Well, I do. I have a younger brother, and I'm here to tell you what it's like. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Now let's get the ugly side out of the way. If you've ever had a little sibling, you know how ugly those dirty diapers are. You know what I mean, right? Number 1 and number 2. Just a heads up, never be in a room with my brother while changing his diaper. Because it can get pretty stinky. It can also get pretty messy too. You know something else that can get stinky and messy? Throw up. But sometimes it's actually really funny. You know why? Because I get to watch my mom clean it up. There was a time when I existed. There was also a time when I could ride in the car with peace and quiet. There was also a time when I could sleep through the whole night without waking up. And that brings me to the bad parts of having a little brother. One really bad thing about my little brother is that he's an attention thief. When we see family, all the attention is on him. Even when he's crying and screaming, all the attention is still on him. Sometimes he screams so loud, one day I might need hearing aids. There is one more bad thing about my little brother. He wakes me up in the night. You know how sometimes you're in bed, all cozy, having a dream, when you hear, wham! Well, that's me, every single night. Now just hold on. There aren't only bad and ugly things about my little brother. There are good things too. Like when I play with him, he has the cutest smile. And I just love it when he giggles. I can just look at him, and he gets to giggling so hard, he ends up with the hiccups. And the best part about my little brother is that he made me a big sister. Overall, he is sometimes good, sometimes bad, and sometimes ugly. But most of all, he is the greatest baby brother in the whole wide world. Thank you.
Today, I'll be giving you some information about one of my heroes, Jack Roosevelt Robinson. He was a great man and has inspired me to play baseball for 6 years straight. I remember one of my baseball coaches asked us what our nickname wanted to be. Guess what I said? Jackie Robinson. Then after practice, of course, my grandma came up to me and said, next time you come up to practice, make sure they call you by your real name. So let's jump to it. Prepare to be informed. Robinson was born on January 31st, 1919 into a family of sharecroppers in Cairo, Georgia. Born after Edgar Frank Matthew, also known as Mac, and last but not least, Willa May. He was the youngest of 5 children. Hey, I got 5 children myself, but I'm not the baby. I know Robinson felt alone since he was the youngest. I wonder if my little sister feels that way too. Fun fact, Robinson was named after former President Theodore Roosevelt. That is how he got his middle name. Okay, let's get back to it, guys. Robinson's father left the family in 1920, and they moved to Pasadena, California, home of the Chargers. Robinson's mother worked various odd jobs to support the family. He had a very strong mom, just like mine. Robinson grew up and attended high school at Muir Tech. His brothers Mac and Frank recognized his athletic talent and encouraged him to run with it. Robinson continued to play sports, including basketball, football, track, and yep, you guessed it, my personal favorite in junior college. And my personal favorite, baseball, in junior college. Robinson's brothers inspired him to keep going just like my brothers do with me. Robinson went on to have an exceptional 10-year baseball career. He was the recipient of the inaugural MLB Rookie of the Year, and in 1947, he was an All-Star for 6 consecutive seasons. And then in 1952, he was inducted into the MLB Hall of Fame. Not impressed yet? Well, how about that little thing he did with breaking down racial barriers in Major League Baseball? Remember that? Unfortunately, Robinson died on October 21st, 1972. Robinson's family, friends, and fans were heartbroken, but they will always remember him. I'll remember him too, and his life will continue to inspire me to keep playing baseball. I hope you all remember him too. Thank you.